This video has been recommended to us on our Discord and in our live streams many times. It's one that keep meaning to get to, and you know how things go. Our schedules snowball out of control, and we're stuck going back to the memes and back to those videos that we all enjoy and love. But we like to watch recommendations that come outside the box for us, like outside the realm of what we usually react to,
or what's expected,
from us. And a lot of times those videos don't do very well. You know, we may get 1,000 views is like really good for some of those videos that we do outside the realm of what people are used to. But I feel
that
like
doesn't matter.
A lot of the videos that do well are coming from views outside of our fan base of people that like, well, not fan base, but our friends who watch our videos on the regular are the ones who watch these obscure things that we react to. And I really like doing those, simply for the fact that I know I can later on talk with these people about what we just watched.
Yeah.
There's an actual dialogue that takes place in our live streams. And
in our live streams and stuff. You know, Try Not to Laugh is really entertaining for us.
Yes.
But I think that this person recommended something that we're going to have a lot to say about it. Or we have a lot of knowledge about because we live it.
Yes.
I don't know what the video is about, but it says Appalachian Man
Soft
interview.
White Underbelly is the name of this channel, which I've never heard of it before.
And if you're new here, you can probably tell from the accent.
We're from the Appalachian Mountains.
Mountains, so
we'll probably understand a lot of what's going on in this situation. Yeah. It just seems to be a channel where they go around and they talk to people from all over the country. It's interview portraits of the human condition by photographer Mark Leda.
I think that's really cool that they got to this part, because a lot of people think, oh, like the South. Well, the South and the Appalachian Mountains are different. And a lot of people don't know that. They're like, oh, you're from the South. And it's like, well, kind of. I mean, yeah, but kind of not. Like, it's this very specific part, and it's like so many different states.
Yeah, it's, I mean, all the way up into like Pennsylvania and shit, right?
I think part of Ohio, I think.
Yeah, it's really different. So let's check this shit out.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
All right, Elmer, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Right here in eastern Kentucky.
This is Leslie County?
Leslie County, yeah.
Tell me about your childhood. You had both your parents when you were
Yeah.
How was your childhood?
There was 9 of us.
9 of you?
Yeah. I'm the baby in the family.
You're the youngest?
Youngest one, yeah.
How would you describe your childhood?
It growed up pretty rough right there. Just hard living. Raised on cornbread and soup beans, taters. Garden, growed a big garden every year.
Yeah.
Hogs.
You guys had electricity and running water?
No, not for a long time. Yeah.
How far did you go in school?
I went through the 9th grade.
9th grade.
Yeah.
What did you do for work after you finished school?
Well, I worked, drove a truck about all my life. Hauled coal, logs. Been into logging the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Appalachia is a tough region to survive in, right?
Rough. Gotta work.
And finding work is a hard thing now.
Yeah.
Coal mines have shut down.
You didn't work, you didn't eat. My grandma always said, she said, if you're going to eat supper with me, you got to work. If you won't feed nobody, don't work.
But, so you've been married, had kids?
Yeah.
How many
I've
kids?
got 2, a boy and a girl.
And you raised them?
Yeah. Yeah, my wife, she passed on.
I'm sorry. So your kids stayed here in
Yes, for I raised them mountains right here in home
and
place.
they still live in Leslie County?
Yeah.
Why do people choose to stay here, even though there's very few opportunities and it's such a tough life?
This mountain gets to you after a while. You just don't feel at home nowhere else.
You go somewhere else and it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about this region that's very special.
It's home, you know.
Yeah. Drugs have kind of taken over this region.
Oh, pretty much took over, yeah.
Why do you think that's happened?
Pardon me?
Why do you think that's happened?
Don't know. Don't know. It's bad, though. Sure is.
Yeah.
Bad situation.
You've got involved in that as well?
Huh?
Have you got involved in drugs at all?
No.
Never?
No.
Good for you. What do you think the future is of this region? Because, technology marches on in the rest of the country, but this part of the country is kind of being left behind.
Yeah. They live on. You can't starve these people to death. They know how to raise gardens and kill hogs, eat squirrels.
What do you live on now? I mean, what's your income?
I just, disability.
Disability?
Yeah.
And how much do you live on a year?
I get so much a month.
What do you get a month, roughly?
About $1,100 a month.
Yeah.
I'm on total disability.
And that's enough to live on?
Yeah. Well, I make do with what garden I grow, stuff I put away. Do a lot of canning.
Mm-hmm.
Can a lot of food.
Yeah. But are you happy here?
Yeah. Yeah, ain't no place like home.
Yeah. And you're not looking to leave?
No.
Yeah.
I like to go on vacation sometimes, go down to Florida.
How far have you traveled?
I usually go to Florida sometimes, about once a year, take a vacation, and sometimes Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Since this COVID-19 come out, I ain't went nowhere. I stayed pretty much at the house.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets in your life? Do you look back and say you wish you had done this or wish you had done that?
No.
Yeah, you're happy with your life?
I'm happy with it, yeah.
What are the best and worst things about living in Appalachia?
It's, I guess, I don't know. I don't say much bad things myself. I kind of look, got a point of view of looking at the good side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm well happy here. It's rough living.
It's a very simple life, though.
Yeah, you got to get rough with it.
Yeah. You raise your own food.
Right, raise a lot of garden food, yeah. Hogs.
How old are you?
Chickens. 55.
55. What's the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Trust in God.
You're a religious man?
No, but I believe in God.
You don't go to church?
No, I did, but I'm kind of backslid.
So how do you spend your days typically? What do you do?
But I just work around the house and pedal about, Do a lot of yard work here, trying to get set up, my trailer set up and everything.
Right. And what do your kids do?
My boy's a logger, he logs.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, I think she works at a nursing home. And got good kids, ain't on drugs, thank God.
That's great.
That methamphetamines took over this place. It has.
Yeah,
It's ruined all the young people. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, but it was the pain pills and then the crystal meth, right?
The meth, that nasty meth they'll make it. It's about to do them all in.
Yeah.
Sure is.
It almost seems like the entire community's
It's
affected
bad.
by it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Sure
It's rare
is.
to find someone who isn't.
Yeah.
What opportunities are there for a person choosing to stay here? Coal mines
It's
have
either
shut down.
logwoods or like Walmart or somewhere like that working. They ain't, but if you get an education, you have to leave them here.
Yeah.
You have
And to get a real job, you have to leave here. too.
right.
But you feel like you've lived a life you wanted.
Yeah. I'd like to got with the Lord a lot sooner, It's pretty wild in my childhood days.
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you get into?
I smoked pot and drunk a lot.
Yeah.
The drinking I quit. I still smoke a little pot along. I consider it as a herb, not a drug.
Right. And it's illegal here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't legalized it like they have up in California.
Right. Yeah. For us, it's like They don't think it's so
he's in
serious.
Kentucky.
It's a good pain medicine.
But you live in this trailer behind you?
Yeah.
You have electricity now?
Yeah.
You have running water?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I run it out of the holler up there.
You do?
Got a waterfalls up there.
It's probably way back.
So you tap into that?
Yeah. I can't drink it, but I can bath in it and wash my clothes and dishes.
Right. And you have friends?
Huh?
You have friends?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got friends. Not many, but a few. You know.
You don't need a lot?
I stay a lot to myself. By myself first. I've got a wife, but she lives in another home, and I live here.
I understand. And do you hunt?
Yeah.
What kind of animals do you hunt for?
Deer, squirrel, rabbit, snakes.
Do you have bear here?
Yeah. One comes in here every night.
Really?
Yeah. Got one coming there, a big bear. He's whooped my bulldog 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Damn.
He tore him up pretty bad last time.
Shit.
Cut him up.
They usually run from dogs.
He'll get after it.
So living up here all by yourself, Elmer, is there anything that you do to protect yourself?
Well, I've got a pistol I pack with me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I keep it for the bears. The bears is bad to come in on me out there the night.
How close do the bears get to you?
Oh, they've come and stuck their head through the door at me.
They come into your trailer?
Yeah, I left the door open one night, and there's one come and stuck its head through the door, looked at me.
And that's where a gun comes in handy.
Yeah. I got a pistol, I got a rifle, and I keep it for snakes. And people that's mean to me, try to be mean to me, I ain't able to fight them, so I'd have to shoot them. It's just, rough living here in the mountains. You gotta protect yourself. Snakes is bad, the bears is bad. Some big cats running around here. And some mean people running around here. But they don't bother me any. I guess where I got a gun, they know better.
They don't mess with you?
No, they don't mess with me. I don't mess with nobody neither. My grandpa, he was a doctor, a lawyer, undertaker.
Damn.
And he'd take in the sick people, and he'd take and nurse them to health, and if they died, he would take and build their coffin and preach their funeral and bury them. He did have some slaves back in his day and time.
He had slaves?
Yeah. And my grandma right there, she raised
grandpa?
kids out there and stuff, and when she'd breastfeed them, them panthers would come and try to claw in on her. They'd stick her paws through the door. She'd chop their paws off with a hatchet. And
these are your grandparents?
Yeah, they had it rough back in. But the slaves, they growed corn, feed the animals with. They had mules, oxes. My grandpa was a rapid old dude, buddy. Sure.
So he was a doctor?
A lawyer.
Lawyer?
Undertaker, and a preacher.
Wow.
He done a little bit of all that. And up there where he lived, there was a big log house, and he buried all of them out in the bottom out there. All them people that would die, he'd bury them. They've graves that ain't never been marked. I'd say 50, 60 graves up there that ain't never been marked. But he was a go-getter, that old man was. Jake Napper was his name. And he just, he was out there. He'd whoop you. When I was a kid out there, if you killed a piss stain on his porch, you was whooped. He called them little people. He didn't believe in killing nothing unless you was going to eat it. And that pretty much covered that.
All right, Elmer. Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Yes, sir.
Good luck with everything, and the bears, too.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll tame the bears.
There you have that.
Yeah.
I saw you getting a little emotional at times over there, it seemed like.
I don't think so.
Oh. Maybe your
What
eyes are just
points
watering or whatever.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of parallels to this guy and a lot of the people that we know and that
Yes.
we've grown up around. I don't necessarily know anyone who has talked to anyone that remembers owning slaves.
That's what I wanted to touch on. I was like,
He's 55.
His grandparents, like, I know my grandparents didn't.
No. And their parents.
Not.
So it would be a while back. So
Right.
I don't really know about the timeline. Maybe his grandfather to him was his great grandfather or something.
I don't know. I'm not going to speak on his
I don't know, but
I don't know anybody.
That'd have to be some really old motherfuckers, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah.
anyway,
that's why I was like, hold up.
the other shit he was talking on about, you know, the difficulty that people have living in the area as far as employment is concerned and the drug problems and shit, like, that's kind of what, for me, growing up, were the predominant things going on.
And I feel like this man didn't really touch on that because it's kind of just, it's not like we've really traveled that much and stuff, but I think growing up in the internet has really like opened up like to see how other people live, you know? And so like when I was young before the internet, I just kind of thought that everybody lived the way that I lived. And, you know, like you could hear all the insects and the bugs and stuff in the background. It's like, that's the sound of my childhood.
Yeah.
I saw the stars every night. I didn't.
All of them. It's like
I didn't have neighbors that I could see. I grew up in the woods.
Or actually, like, a nice computer and...
It took me 15 minutes to get to town.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
I watch movies and like kids are playing with each other in the streets, and I'm like, damn, that would have been neighbors
nice. And like,
yeah.
But a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be literally
completely secluded,
growing up in a national forest. And you know, we grew up in the Jefferson National Forest. I think you don't have the ability to walk out to town and put in applications or catch a ride with somebody and
have
go
enough
to town.
Money to buy a car.
Well, I mean, it would be the equivalent of, I don't even know, the shit that people take buses and trains and taxis and Ubers and shit for.
We don't have that
It's
here.
either walk there that way and it takes you the whole day.
Yeah.
Or you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
And there's so many lost opportunities with that. Like, if you piss your ride off and you're, 15 and you got to get to work, you sticking your thumb out.
That whole pull yourself up by the bootstrap shit is just like you have to have boots.
And then,
like these motherfuckers out here, I don't know how many times, like, I have heard people not be able to go to court or do something because they didn't have shoes to wear.
Yeah.
To go out in, and it's like, well, just, if you've got a job and you can, even these people who get like checks like that old guy would miss court dates and shit because they would live 35 to 40 minutes away. And it's not just away down the road. It's like through the mountain.
For me to go to a community college, which was a fucking blessing. I was the first in my family that I know of to go to college. Took 45 minutes to drive. It's not, and that's like, I'm blessed to have been able to do that. There's people, you have to drive, and that's another thing people don't understand. Is like you were talking about the transportation. There's no sidewalks to
where's
walk
the car
on, really.
Dealership? The car dealership to go buy the car is at least an hour away or 45 minutes away. Like, it's just so many
and the time
obstacles
in between towns too.
It would be like what you experience in Fallout when you're like, for a lot of people that'll probably watch this, you would have to compare our situation to similar to like fucking Fallout without the radiation, and no, the mutants and the monsters are just like rabid dogs and bears and like snakes and shit that can get you, and like, I mean, there's bad shit out in the woods, and then there's just the huge drug problem
And he asked him, well, why do you think the drugs are so bad? And he's like, well, I don't know. You do.
I know. I know exactly what happened. So in the early 90s, or in the late 90s, early 2000s, Oxycontin, which is synthetic heroin, hit the market. And the first place that they wanted to test it was in my hometown at the time, which was Pennington Gap, Virginia.
Like in all of the U.S.
In all of the U.S., my little ass fucking rinky-dink hometown was the first place that they unleashed one of the fucking nastiest pharmaceutical drugs of all time.
Which maybe has a couple thousand people in it.
Yeah, it's not very big at all. I mean, you can look it up. Pennington Gap, Virginia is tiny. And it turned into fucking zombie land. It was crazy. We just assumed as kids that every single adult we saw out in town was on drugs. Like, you didn't go like, oh, the generation before us was on the tail end of everybody you saw out in town was a coal miner.
Yeah.
And everybody had money.
Yeah.
And everybody was able to like live a middle class lifestyle.
Which is how I grew up. My dad worked in the coal mines. Like, everyone that you knew, you had a decent life, and that stopped, which there's great reasons for it, you know, but here it struck hard. But for me, you know, we grew up in probably like 2.5 hours away from each other. As far Clintwood from Pennington Gap was like hour and I don't know.
It's a way. It's a minute.
Even if it's like, oh, it's just a little bit. Like, there's so... You don't even understand the drive to get there.
You got to go around a bunch of mountains and stuff to get there. But, like, my region was the epicenter of that situation. And it just kind of went and spread out to Kentucky, West Virginia, further on up. And it's a nationwide issue now. But it introduced a drug culture into a community that was not prepared for it, because these people were jobless, they were broken, they were hopeless, and they were uneducated, they were defunded. You got to understand, the coal that came from the mountains where we're from built the infrastructure for like the fucking East Coast. All that steel, all that fuel, all this shit came out of the mountains in these coal seams. And they just destroyed the environment, left people dependent on a system that they built through the coal industry, that they turned into a godlike figure, which is really crazy when you look up, you know, about the rednecks with their red bandanas fighting against the coal companies and how they unionized and shit, and how that shit got flipped quick. Like, they turned it into a propaganda campaign where motherfuckers with black lung dying on their deathbeds will worship coal companies. It's crazy.
It's sad.
But they are, not stupid, uneducated.
Yeah.
Ignorance and stupidity are completely different. These people just did not have access to the proper education, the proper health care. They weren't trained for any new jobs. They weren't encouraged to look for or try to find anything, because they were told that they were traitors if they took an opposite opinion. They were traitors to their communities if they took opposite opinions in their own interests.
Another thing that he touched on was like, well, like, why don't people just leave?
Ha! Good. What? On what? On a magic carpet that just fucking materializes out of nowhere?
Even though he didn't seem like he was 100% comfortable with sharing, that guy was like, hey.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But, you know, disabilities, like $1,100. There are a lot of people that I know who are on disability, and for good reasons, even though there's a lot of people who live here who are like, I can't believe they're not doing the jobs and stuff, and it's
what job?
Anyway, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, $1,100 is hard to fucking live on. So, you gotta pay your rent or your mortgage, you gotta feed however many fucking kids you got, hopefully you get food stamps. Then, if you got a car to fucking leave, and you gotta put gas in the shit,
get
then
it
where
registered,
are you gonna
get
go?
it tagged, get gas, get tires, get brakes, get spark plugs, get filters, get
your money down first and last month's rent. It's not feasible
when
for
it's
people
like,
to
what
just
job?
leave.
What job? I'm going to walk to the Dollar General store that exists out in the middle of fucking nowhere for 2 hours, where they treat me like shit and all. I mean, the ray of light, where is it? I'll tell you where it is. You want to get on top of the world from our fucking area? You are an absolute fucking genius, and you cultivate your own fucking thing off the internet, like you know, my brother Nate, like homie from Renegade Media Group, is a shining example of somebody who just worked his fucking ass off and took a wild chance and made it. One of my best friends in the world, and I respect him to death. My best friend, Jesse, had to abandon his entire family, you know, for the most, not like he doesn't talk to them. He's really tight with his family, but like leave, get the fuck out of here and not be there. That's hard to do.
And that's another thing is like growing up in this area, your family, you are dependent on your family is dependent on you.
Yeah.
And it's hard because it's like a poverty-stricken area. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole
But
thing.
He has had to leave this area, go to school for 10 fucking years, stay gone all the time, move to 12 different places just to stay ahead of the game and catch up to the game.
Yeah.
Because he had to pad his fucking resume with all these Herculean efforts to prove himself in a realm where somebody from like San Francisco is just like, yeah, I go to Berkeley now. Not too much of a transition because it's right over fucking here. And if I need to take the bus or the fucking train to get there, here we fucking go.
Or they don't even have to think about that.
But I mean, it's even at the lowest of the fucking low, you can get a way to get where you need to go that is not your fucking legs.
Yeah.
I mean, I have walked my happy fucking ass through snow in shoes that weren't ready for the fucking snow because I was too poor to get fucking gas in my car, but I had to go to a shit ass fucking job or I can't eat.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I've never in my life had fucking food stamps or anything, but there are...
You should have.
Yeah, there are times where I would have been 100% qualified for it due to those types of circumstances.
And that's something that you don't talk about, like you've literally nearly starved.
Yeah, I've been homeless and shit for the simple reason that, like, you know, I have mental health issues myself, and I would just, like, fucking not allow myself to be... in circumstances, so I would quit fucking jobs, and I would be in situations where I would just be like, fuck it, if I starve, I starve, you know.
Because a lot of times it's like, it's not an option. Like, no matter how poorly you get treated, it is not an option to just stand up for yourself.
You can't have any self-respect in a lot of the jobs that are available.
Because then you go home, and a lot of people around here have kids young. You have mouths waiting to be fed, literally. It's not just an expression.
Luckily, I had the option to take the fuck you route multiple times.
Right, right.
And you know, my life is different. Everybody's circumstances are different. And some people have it great in this area, but they are not the majority in any way, shape, or form.
Like being dependent on your family being dependent on you. It's just like that is a situation.
But taking them to see a specialist or whatever doesn't usually take people 2.5 hours one way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's something I didn't think about. Yeah.
It's that kind of thing where if you go on the internet right now and you look at the quality of healthcare that's available in southwestern Virginia, northeast Tennessee, you will see that it is some of the worst in the world.
A perfect example is a lady came into my work this week. She was 83 or 84, I can't remember. She had just had a knee surgery, and the doctor was not the best and completely fucked it up, and they had to put her under for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. Well, she called back and was like, this is not working. You know, they saw it. They were like, oh, well, we fucked up your knee surgery, and nobody wants to put you back under for 3 hours again because you're too old. So she has to, like, hobble around, and she's just like, would have to go find another specialist. She's fucking 83 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal for the whole healthcare system, but it's just so many things like that where I came to the understanding eventually in my teenage years that we're practically camping. Like, we're practically out in these outposts of civilization, in this place where society took what they needed from it and fucked off.
We did have running water and electricity.
So
there's
yeah,
that.
That's pretty standard, but it's depending on where you live, because
high
there's
speed
certain
internet? No.
There's certain, well, Starlink changed
Just
that.
now.
Elon Musk did that. People say he doesn't do shit. He has done some shit to help people.
Yeah.
There is areas where people are like, okay, this is where my land is, and like towns and cities or whatever don't provide utilities out there because there's just not the demand that makes sense for them to put up power poles and put up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at certain points, you're setting up camp out way out.
Yeah.
Like that guy
Maybe.
was probably the only person within his range for a few miles. Like,
Maybe. Yeah.
probably way fucking out there. Because there are places like where you grew up, your dad's place is pretty fucking remote.
Like, literally, I did not have neighbors.
Yeah.
I did not have neighbors. I had cousins and my grandmother, but, like, you had to walk to their house.
Right.
You know, like, it wasn't, I don't even know how to explain it to someone who...
Like Red Riding Hood going through the woods to Grandma's house.
Like Winnie the Pooh shit.
Yeah. Or Lord of the Rings type shit. Actually,
it's
you
beautiful.
go to my dad's
beautiful.
house and it's like in the woods in this...
Yeah.
Like it looks like
you can watch squirrels
an
from
elven
inside.
village going up
Yeah.
there. It's pretty cool.
I think that is something that I would like to touch on is, like, it's really hard to live here if you don't already have money.
Yes.
But it is a very beautiful place.
Boy, do people like to come from other places and be the big fish in a small pond. That's something
That's true.
bothered me a lot when I was growing up. We're seeing people come from, especially the academic motherfuckers that come to UVA-wise from somewhere else, like professors and teachers and stuff. They will...
There's not a lot of colleges around here, so...
They will come down and sign up for the team and represent and be for the team, but they just completely ignore the struggle. They love the banjos, the family, good old this and that, like the Big Stone Gap movie. That's what they're there for. But the moment that they see the fucking meth head, the moment that they see the poor person like trying to get into school or that isn't that good at college, that came from these different, it's the nose up in the air. They're back in Charlottesville then.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
And they think that they know what's up, and it's all, let me tell y'all something about this shit. I have more in common with people that grew up in and around urban neighborhoods in the ghettos and slums in big cities than I do the rich right-wing conservatives with their fucking yachts and their Alabama pullovers and their...
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? These people
I literally just envisioned...
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That is not... No, I have more in common with some
people who
fucking
struggled.
Yeah, well, gutter rats in the punk clubs, and you know, my street people that are in the rap clubs and just like into the hip hop scene, and just these people have more in common with me than people who'd be like, Southern pride, by God. My daddy just got me this pontoon boat. You want to go ride four-wheelers? I got 12 of them.
Jacked up yee truck.
That he's in debt $80,000 for. That shit is not representative of me, my actual culture that I came from.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a lot of it. There is a lot of it.
Oh, there's a lot of it. But it's daddy bought that truck. Like, they're not the real deal. They're just fucking shitheads, man. And it really pisses me off that when people think about the South, they think about our area, it's this Gatlinburg. You know what I mean? They think about Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
nah.
no. Dude?
Nah.
No.
The beauty of Gatlinburg without the Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg was it would be a beautiful place without the truck nuts attached to it.
Yeah, no, I'm talking.
You get what I'm saying?
Nuts. Yeah.
This area would be a lot better if it just stopped fucking playing itself. If it stopped being the, well, here we are for the whole down saloon, and turned into more like, we're fucking starving, we're fucking dying, and we don't deserve this. Oh, by the way, the infrastructure of the entire fucking East Coast, you're welcome. What now? That would be nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many other people feel that way. Maybe not that many other people feel that way. But for me personally, I'm tired of being a novelty act to the rest of the world. The humanity of the situation needs to be represented appropriately. And that banjo playing straw hat bullshit really only exists as novelty.
Yeah.
Really, those motherfuckers are listening to Tupac. Really, those motherfuckers... Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I know a lot of musicians that will step into that role.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's dance, monkey, dance. But in reality, they're not that person. But that's the only thing that they can get a break on out of this area.
That's what I'm going to say. In this area, if you have a banjo or the fiddle or mandolin or something like that...
To play your role, Hick. Hey, yeah. Hillbilly, do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's...
Yeah.
No, that's not. That hasn't been the case.
But a lot of people around here also bought into that too.
Because they've been told that's your role.
No, but like if you tried to go down here and play at the barbecue place in town that hosts bands.
Yeah, I've done shit like that.
But you can't get in there. They want specific.
Oh, I know that. Well, you got to cater to your clientele, but I'm just saying, like, the identity of the people in this region is oftentimes not represented wholly in what's projected into the mainstream, into what's accepted. I'm not going to go into any details, but there are some highly successful people from this region who are highly successful because they saw that and decided that's not really what they want to do, but given their circumstances, they could capitalize on that way better than they ever could doing what they actually want to do. But that kind of tokenism is...
You talking about some tractor rap?
It's like the... Oh, no.
Because I'm thinking...
It's like the only fucking opportunity, really.
Yeah.
But if they were just to be authentic, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't even be close to that. But it's like, I'll play that role for you.
Yeah.
Better than anybody you've ever had.
Just to wrap it up with a big old bow, is opportunity isn't here. People, for the most part, are very poor. There isn't great health care, and you have to physically own a car and drive 2.5 hours to go to a specialist or a decent doctor, or if you have to go to a hospital, they might have to send you in a helicopter, whatever the fuck that's called. Can't think of it.
And if you attempt to be authentic, you get shunned for it. But if you embrace the chains that have bound this region, then you'll be celebrated for your ignorance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, yeah. You got the soft white underbelly and the all the dirt that comes with that. There you go.
Barefoot.
I really appreciate how humble this guy was, though, and how he really embraced the struggle and just made that
just
part of his life, because he found something, it seems, that we all lack, which is to be thankful for what we do have. I know I may not have sounded very humble in this, but I'm pretty honest about being angry about the situation that this place is in and the struggles that I've had to deal with in my life because of it. This guy, on the other hand, has been so deep in the struggle, I'm sure that...
I think that he just thinks that that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I respect that guy, and I feel bad for his circumstances in a lot of ways, because it reminds me of so many people that I love and care about and have seen struggle.
And that mirrors kind of how we grew up, maybe not so far back in the mountain. You know, we had electricity, but like, I grew up in a trailer. Pretty sure you partially.
Lots of parts of my life,
you know?
were spent living in a trailer.
Or my grandma's house, or, you know.
I just had so many, and so did you, times where it was like, we're here for a little while, but we got to find another place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had like one stable home, like at my dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times it was, you know, bouncing around to do what you had to do.
To make it.
And a lot of times the conditions weren't amazing.
Yeah, but you had a roof over your head. And that was it.
Sometimes the electricity got turned off, but at least you got meals at school. I had my free lunches. I knew I was going to get breakfast and lunch, and Mama would feed me dinner. So, man, I sounded really, really redneck. Mama would feed me some dinner.
By God.
Soup, beans, and cornbread.
That's right.
So.
But anyway, there you have it. We reacted to it. You asked for it, and you probably got more than you bargained for.
I don't know how long this went on.
So that was the Soft White Underbelly Appalachian Man interview, Elmer. There's more of these. Maybe we'll check them out.
Yeah. Or if you have any more videos like this or completely different, you can put it in the comments below or on the Discord. But we need to subscribe to this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to do that now. Yeah. But thank you all for tuning in. And I guess for this video, that's going to do it. See y'all.